Hey you! Welcome to Smart Cause Academy. My name is Yesenia Sotelo, and Smart Cause Academy is a series of short, useful training videos for nonprofit professionals. Today we're answering the question, how can I stop being frustrated when I'm editing my website or my email newsletter? We'll be learning how not to make Google think we're a spammer, ways to make readers and Google fall in love with our content, and how to be a content editing superhero. Smart Cause Academy is brought to you by Smart Cause Digital. We're here to build smart nonprofit websites. I'm the founder and a web developer, and I've been building and growing nonprofit websites since 2001. This should look pretty familiar to you. Whenever you're making a new email marketing message in a tool like MailChimp or Constant Contact or Vertical Response, you'll see an editing toolbar similar to this one. And whenever you might want to make edits to your web page or make a new web page on your website, you'll see a content editing toolbar like this one in WordPress or this one in Convio. And the tips I'm going to give you apply to both the email editing toolbars as well as the website editing toolbars. Let's start with 6 features that you should avoid using whenever you're using these toolbars. The first feature to avoid using is heading 1. And the reason for that is because your website is already using heading 1 for the page title. And that makes a lot of sense because heading 1 is the biggest of all the headings and you want your page title to be nice and big. Also, Google really prioritizes the content that's in heading 1 whenever it's indexing your website. So if you start using heading 1 within the content of your web page, you're going to tell Google you're a spammer, so you don't want to do that. The second feature to avoid using is font family in any of these toolbars. And the reason for that is because almost all of our websites already have a font family set. The way our site does that is via something called CSS. The CSS for our site controls the font family, the sizes of all the different kinds of text on our site, the colors of our links, what it looks like when we roll over a text link. All of that stuff is controlled via CSS. If you're unhappy with the font being used on your site, then have it changed in the CSS. Don't try to use the toolbar to do that because you'll end up making your site look really inconsistent and unprofessional. The third feature to avoid using is font size. Just like with font family, there's already a size set for almost everything within the CSS of your site. If you want to make some of the text bigger, we'll talk about that later on using another tool, but don't try to use font size for that purpose. The fourth feature to avoid is using bold on any of these headings. I won't go into the nitty-gritty of why that's a bad idea, but believe me, if you try to hit bold on these headings, your site's going to end up looking really janky, so don't do it. The fifth feature to avoid is setting colors using these toolbars. Again, if you're not happy with the colors being used on your site, go ahead and have it changed in the CSS. Or if you're using WordPress, a lot of these themes will let you change those within the different settings options. Don't try to change the text color in the toolbar because again, you're making your site look really unprofessional and inconsistent. And the sixth and final feature to avoid is these background colors for text because it actually makes your text look really hard to read. So let's talk about 6 features you should definitely use. So while we can't use heading 1, we should definitely use heading 2 all the way down to 6. The reason for this is twofold. 1, humans love it. It helps us scan the page and pick out what's really important. It also just so happens that Google loves it. Google, just like with heading 1, really likes the text that's in heading 2, 3, 4, etc. So if you use these headings, make sure to use lots of good keywords in there. The second feature you should use, I think, is really underused, and that's the lists. So you can have, as you see here, an ordered list, which is numbered, or an unordered list, which is just bullets. Either way, they're so great for helping humans scan the text on your web page. The third feature you should use is Blockquote, and that's this little button here. And what that does is it makes an indent into the text. And if you use it for an entire paragraph, it'll really help call attention to that paragraph and help me scan your site as someone who's visiting the site. The fourth feature you should use, as well as the fifth, are really familiar to you, and that's bold and italics. They should not be overused, but when they're used judiciously, they're great for helping us scan the content on your web page. And the final tool is a little trickier to find, but if you can find it, it's really useful. It's this horizontal ruler, and it's really great for breaking up long pages of text. It's a nice, clean, elegant way to do it, and it's great for the eye to kind of pick out that there's a new section coming. So those were 6 features you should definitely use in your toolbar. Let's wrap it up with 4 ways that you can use the toolbar to be a content editing superhero. The first tool you should be using is this little icon that usually has the Microsoft Word logo on it. This is great if you're copying content from Microsoft Word or from another website into your own website. What you do is you open up this little window, you paste that content that you copied into the window. Then the window strips away all the formatting, so all the colors and headings from that other website or from Microsoft Word, they're gone, which saves you so many formatting headaches when you're trying to get that content into your website. What you end up with is just the clean text, and then you can style it however you want. The second way you can be a content editing superhero is to stop using click here for your links. Instead, use the words that might be descriptive of where you're sending people to, or use keywords that are really great for humans and for Google. So instead of saying click here, here I said affordable healthcare, and that's my link. The third way you can be a superhero using these toolbars is to have these links open in a new tab as long as they're going to a different website. So here I'm linking out to healthcare.gov, and I'm saying open it in a new tab, and that's totally cool for any links that go somewhere else besides my own site. The fourth way you can use the toolbar to be a content editing superhero is to be smart about creating tables using these toolbars. Go ahead and set all of the rows and columns that you think you'll need, because if you try to go in later to add more columns as you go or more rows as you go, oftentimes these toolbars are not so smart, and they often break the HTML for the tables, and it's really, really frustrating. So when you create a table, go ahead and set all the rows and columns, and that way it'll save you a lot of headaches. We covered a lot, and I hope this video training was helpful to you. If you liked this video, you can get more free training with Smart Cause Academy by visiting smartcausedigital.com/academy and subscribing for updates about new videos. Do you need help with your nonprofit website? Are you looking for a trusted expert resource in nonprofit digital? Send us an email message. I'd love to hear from you.